Hey Future CPA, my name is Bryan Kesler, and today I'm going to share the exact method for passing a CPA exam that I use. And I'd argue that if you ignore this method, that you'll be putting yourself at risk of becoming a casualty of the estimated 80% of CPA candidates who fail at least one section of the CPA exam. So today in this video, I'm going to show you how I used this method to overcome failing 5 sections of the CPA exam in a row, and used it to transform my study habits and ultimately pass the CPA exam with. And the good news is that I've been able to replicate this method for hundreds of my students. So I'll share the exact steps that you need to follow to implement this method as you progress on your journey to passing the CPA exam as well. Now, before I forget, down in the description and the comment section, I posted a link to my companion resource for this video that includes a PDF download and other resources that I spent, no joke, just over $20,000 to create just for you. And because I love you guys, there is no email opt-in or any of those shenanigans. So just head to cpaexammentor.com or check out the description or the comment section for the link. So are you ready to learn how I pass the CPA exam? Let's dive in. All right, Future CPA, so what is the method to pass an CPA exam that is crucial to your success? Well, it's called the Ultimate CPA Exam Guide Method, or UCEG method, as the cool kids call it. And in order to implement this method, all you need are the 3 key resources that you probably already have, which are your time, your CPA review course, and something that most CPA candidates don't leverage, which is their CPA exam mentors. Now, what's important to understand is that when you optimize each of these resources based on your specific situation, you will have the perfect study plan to implement that will help you achieve the perfect grasp of the AI CPA blueprint and the perfect support team in place to keep you focused and motivated on your journey to passing the CPA exam. And what's cool is that once you have each of these CPA exam assets firing on all cylinders for you, you will achieve what's called the atomic effect. And when you achieve the atomic effect, you will become an unstoppable force that will stop at nothing until the CPA exam is passed. Now, before we break all of this down step by step, I want to use myself as an example of what achieving the atomic effect looks like. So I had my back up against the wall. So I only had 47 days to study for FAR before the end of the window. And it had been 2 years since I had last taken FAR, and I hadn't even looked at the content since then. So I was starting fresh and the clock was ticking. I was also working full time and knew if I didn't drastically change my routine, I was dead in the water. So I met with all of my trusted mentors to discuss my game plan, and then I got to it. So every waking moment of my life was optimized to get my day job done so that I could study. Another priority I focused on was my health. In fact, I was in the best shape of my life during this time because I forced myself into a workout routine so that I would have energy at night to keep studying. I was also constantly reviewing and learning to make sure I didn't forget anything. And then exam day came like a blink of an eye. So I gave it my best shot and boom, passed with a 77. So I was a CPA thanks to the UCEG method. Now, what I've discovered over the past 5 years of mentoring CPA candidates like yourself is that this method works for nearly every CPA candidate I have met and worked with. Folks like Travis, who was a sub 3.0 GPA student in college who used this method to pass a CPA exam. Or folks like Monica, who had breezed through college with awesome grades, but struggled with the CPA exam. In fact, she failed 9 times before she finally discovered and implemented the UCEG method and turned everything around. And once she did, she passed the CPA exam in 6 short months by increasing her scores by 12 to 21 points across the board. So the key takeaway here is that when implemented correctly, the UCEG method works for nearly every type of CPA candidate that I've come across. But a word of warning, this is not a shortcut to passing. The UCEG method will push you harder than anything you have ever experienced, so it's not for the faint of heart, but it's worth it because of the results that you will get. All right, so are you still with me? Let's break this down step by step. Okay, so step number 1 in the UCEG method is to optimize your time. It doesn't matter what CPA review course you use or the quality of your mentors. If you don't make the time to study a priority in your life, then you will never pass the CPA exam. And here's why. So whenever I'm helping a brand new CPA candidate map out their CPA journey, I typically recommend they spend only 8 to 12 weeks per section. So any longer than 12 weeks, they don't take it seriously and they end up getting burnt out by the end. And any shorter than 8, it's just not physically possible to get through all the material unless your back is up against the wall and you have no choice. Now, 8 to 12 weeks, it's not a very long time at all. So you will need to make drastic changes to your life. And most CPA candidates, they don't understand how to juggle work plus family and studying, and it can destroy your chances of passing if you don't figure this out before you even start studying. So how do you make time to study for the CPA exam? Well, there's 4 factors to consider here. So 1 is your sacrifices, 2 is study goals, 3 is distractions, and 4 are your relationships. So the biggest time creator that I want to touch on today is all about making the right sacrifices. So I teach my students to create what's called a life audit, where they create a list of everything that is more important and less important than passing the CPA exam. Then anything that is less important is typically cut out of their life, temporarily of course, or used as a reward for getting studying done. Now, this is highly effective at organizing your life, and I recommend performing a life audit on yourself to see where margin can be made in your life to spend extra time studying. It can make a huge difference. It made a huge difference for me in how I prioritized my life. Now, it wasn't easy, but it was necessary. So if you'd like to learn more about time creation factors, you can head to cpaexammentor.com and watch the Make Time to Study training there. Now, a quick reminder, just having the time to study isn't enough to pass a CPA exam. So in order for your time to be used wisely, you must have a study plan that will maximize your study personality, meaning you learn in a very unique way. And if you study the wrong way, then you risk not truly understanding the AI CPA blueprints, which brings us to step number 2 in the UCEG method, which is optimizing your CPA review course. And there are 4 factors to consider when doing this. So number 1 is your study personality. 2 is cutting out the busy work. 3, studying to understand. And 4, using your CPA review course to review. So for today's video, let's discuss your study personality because it is the foundation for how you will study. So the thing about CPA review courses is this: they have to provide a product that will work for all study personalities. And what can happen is that what they recommend you do will actually hurt the speed that you learn the material. So for example, I don't learn well from watching video lectures. Well, my CPA review course required me to watch all the video lectures, and it ended up doubling my study time. So it wasn't until I cut out the video lectures and just dove into the text and the questions first and taught myself did I actually see my scores increase. So understanding my study personality was a game changer for how I tackled the CPA exam. And I kick myself in the butt every time I think about the hundreds of wasted hours I spent studying the wrong way. Now, big disclaimer, it's on you to determine your study personality and then apply that to the way that you study. Because what worked for me won't necessarily work for you. So if you don't know your study personality yet, you might check out freecpaquiz.com. It's a unique study personality quiz that I created to help you determine how you should be using your CPA review course. It's free and your results get emailed right to you. So head to freecpaquiz.com so you can identify your study personality before you waste any more time studying the wrong way. Now, once you understand how you learn best, this gives you the power that you need to optimize your CPA review course and maximize the speed that you learn. Now, once you optimize your time and your CPA review course, this really leaves you with 2 options. So you can dive in on your own and just pray that you're studying the right way, which is what I like to call the study and pray method. Or you can implement step number 3 of the UCEG method, which is to find a CPA exam mentor. Well, not just any CPA exam mentor, an effective one. Now, what is an effective CPA exam mentor exactly? And before you ask, no, I'm not talking about a tutor. A tutor and a mentor are very different. So a CPA exam tutor is there to give you technical accounting advice and help you learn the actual content tested on the exam on a one-on-one basis in a way that the CPA review course companies can't do. So unlike a tutor, an effective CPA exam mentor is someone or a service that will teach you exactly what you need to do to pass the CPA exam to help you avoid trial and error, which wastes your time and hurts your chances of passing on your first try. And when looking for a mentor, you should consider 4 primary factors. So number 1, is this mentor giving you motivation to keep going? 2, is this mentor pushing you and helping you maximize your intensity? Number 3, is your mentor teaching you study methods that work? And number 4, is your mentor providing you with positive community? Now, what are the types of mentors and where do you find them? Well, the most common is the CPA exam forum, and I really don't like these forums because they are full of negativity and questionable advice. So I'd recommend avoiding them if you can because they create busy work. Second, and more difficult to find, are coworkers and peers who are willing to help you. But asking for free help from these folks gets annoying and intrusive after a while because they're just as busy as you are. So please be careful taking this route. Now, the final option is to use a third-party mentorship program. Now, in my opinion, this is the best route because you're getting advice from a reliable source, but be sure to do your due diligence and make sure they have a track record of actually helping people. And a third-party mentorship service is also a good route to take because you don't have to annoy anyone in your social circles or work environment with your questions and problems. Now, back when I took the CPA exam, these services didn't exist. So I had to rely on my coworkers and my secret weapon, who was my dad. He was an Elijah Watt Sales winner back in 1984 and was one of the biggest influences in my life that helped me discover the UCEG method. Now, most people aren't that lucky to have such amazing resources available to them, and that's why I created videos like this. So I'm passing on the information that was given to me, and I'm trying to give it back to this amazing industry that has changed my life. Now, regardless of the mentors that you seek out, I strongly recommend that you find mentors who will provide you with the following. You want a mentor to help you tailor the perfect study plan you need to implement in order to obtain the perfect grasp of the AI CPA blueprints. And when you have a mentor and a CPA review course, you will have the perfect support for you in order to keep you going regardless of whether you pass or fail, and ultimately help you achieve the atomic effect. And this is what I do for all of my mentees, and the results have been amazing. And fun fact, the CPA review course companies are starting to notice what I'm doing as well, which is why Jaeger CPA Review has recently partnered with me to offer the world's first CPA review course plus mentorship bundle. And in my humble opinion, having an effective mentor is the missing piece in the majority of CPA candidates' toolboxes and the reason they fail. They feel alone because nobody understands what they're going through, and they also don't have someone to push them or to keep them motivated. And I know this because after I failed 5 times in a row, I was depressed, frustrated, and so embarrassed that I didn't let anyone know for a few months. And I really had to suck up my ego and find mentors. Now, it wasn't easy, but the only other alternative was to give up. And I don't know about you, but I'm not a quitter. So I didn't go to school for 5 years just to give up on my dream of becoming a CPA. I wasn't going to get stuck in a dead-end accounting position posting journal entries all day. I wanted my CPA license so I could take control of my career, have flexibility and recognition that set me apart from the hordes of accountants with MBAs. And I also wanted to be the best that I could be. And that's why I didn't give up. And that's why I'm so thankful that I discovered the UCEG method and have been able to share my success with thousands of CPA candidates around the world. Now, obviously at this point, you have a choice. You could take what you've learned here today and try to implement it on your own and find your own mentors and so forth. Or we could explore working together and see if you would be a good fit for my mentorship program, Ultimate CPA Exam Guide. So if you're interested in learning more about the UCEG method, I put together a simple application for you over at cpaexammentor.com. It's all the way down at the bottom of the page. Just click the Apply Now button. You can also read up on my track record of helping folks pass the CPA exam and how I'm the trusted mentor for my partner, Jaeger CPA Review. Now, the reason I have an application is because I'm a bit picky with who I allow to enroll in my mentorship program. So I'm really only looking for motivated accounting professionals willing to put in the hard work to pass. But the good news is that it's affordable, it's proven and effective at helping you optimize your time, your CPA review course, and provide you with a premium CPA exam mentorship experience that can't be found anywhere else. So if you'd like to learn more and want even more in-depth training on how to implement the UCEG method, then head to cpaexammentor.com. And also, if you learned a lot from this video, feel free to give me a thumbs up, feel free to subscribe to my channel so that you can be notified when I release new content just like this. Either way, thanks for watching and best of luck on your journey to passing the CPA exam. I'll see you down in the comments.